And back to our top story now. The world's newest country, South Sudan. The UN Security Council has approved a plan to send 7,000 peacekeepers there. Their presence will have an impact on many ongoing land disputes between North and South Sudan. Abyei is one of the most contentious. It has seen an escalation in violence between rival factions. While a recent deal has ended weeks of unrest in South Kordofan state, the clashes saw rebels from the Nuba Mountains taking on the army of the North. The other disputed area is the neighboring Blue Nile states. United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon says he is extremely concerned about the conflict in South Kordofan. He is urging both governments to reach a political solution to the conflict in the border region. Callum McRae has this exclusive report.
The only way into southern Kordofan is on one of the clandestine humanitarian flights which defy Khartoum's threat to shoot down anyone in the skies over the Nuba Mountains. We landed on a secret runway in the bush. The reason the Khartoum government wants to keep the eyes of the world away from this area is clear. This is one of the craters caused by the Antonov bombings. I mean, that's what, 15, 20 meters across, maybe 10 meters deep. This was a very, very big bomb. We found compelling evidence that the government has backed its military offensive against the forces of the SPLA in southern Kordofan with a campaign of indiscriminate bombing of civilian areas. Dr. Tom Katena of the Catholic Medical Mission is the only doctor left in South Kordofan.
The Antonov is not a military, it's not really a good military weapon because they can't target like a barracks or a building. It's a weapon of terror. It destroys, you can bomb over a big area and terrorize the people.
That's a war crime.
Yes, it is, of course. Yeah.
Some UN peacekeepers, mostly Egyptian, have been accused of standing by while civilians are killed. And we found these UN forces trapped in their base, immobilized. The officers had even changed into civilian clothes. So what are you doing here? Are you able to go out on patrol?
No patrol.
No? Why not?
We are staying here for waiting for information from Khartoum only.
From Khartoum, from the Khartoum government?
Evacuation about we extension our mission here.
Right.
But we didn't have any news.
The roots of this conflict lie in the historical marginalisation of the Nuba people, who'd thrown their lot in with the rebel forces of the south. When the peace agreement that ended the long civil war between North and South was being formulated, there were two sticking points, southern Kordofan and the Blue Nile, and they were essentially left to one side. As a result, today, while southern Sudan prepares for independence, the orphan state of southern Kordofan is preparing for a long and bitter war with its adoptive parent, the Khartoum government. Top of Khartoum's most wanted list is the man who leads these rebel forces, Abdelaziz al-Halou. He agreed to give his first interview since the war began to Al Jazeera. We were taken to meet him at a secret location.
We believe that we are part of the North, but we want a new government. We want fundamental change in Khartoum. I call upon all the Sudanese people, the forces of democracy, of change, people who are aspiring for justice, to unite, to come under one umbrella, and we defeat Khartoum.
But while Khartoum ponders that threat and the South celebrates its independence, the people of Nuba face a very bleak future indeed. Callum McRae for Al Jazeera in southern Kordofan.
And you can see the full version of that exclusive story on People in Power this Wednesday at 22:30 GMT right here on Al Jazeera. And to discuss the situation in South Kordofan a bit more with me, I'm joined by Jonathan Hudson from the Enough Project, an anti-genocide group based in Washington, D.C. Boy, Jonathan, it's great to speak with you. You just watched the piece along with me, and what's to become of the Nuba people? How does this dispute get solved on a day when the people in South Sudan are celebrating independence?
Tony, the solutions need to come from the individual people on the ground in both North and South Sudan. Everyone has a piece of the problem, and therefore everyone has a piece of the solution. I want you to know that everything's not so black and white in Sudan. Today, using the Twitter hashtag #LoveFromSudan, many individuals in the north are sending messages of love and respect to their brothers and sisters in the south, saying, with sadness but no bitterness, you know, we're sorry to see you go, but we celebrate your liberty and independence. At the same time, the government in the north is bombing its own people in the north. In the Nuba Mountains region, this border region of South Kordofan, we've seen visual evidence, satellite imagery, photos from the ground, reporters going in, aid workers reporting out, campaigns of bombardment. The Khartoum regime using artillery shells, using aerial bombardment from Russian planes called Antonovs, also using helicopter gunships, Mi-24 gunships called flying tanks that are hunting Nuba people, trying to eliminate Nuba civilians from the Nuba Mountains because of their ethnicity, not because of anything they said, did, or believed, but simply because they're Nuban. They're trying to clear out this border area and waging a state-sponsored ethnic cleansing campaign that is ongoing at this moment, even as indicted war criminal president Omar al-Bashir is on the reviewing stands celebrating the independence of South Sudan.
So
it's
Jonathan,
both a parade of celebration and a charade of international diplomacy.
Sure. So Jonathan, where do the two sides, the North Sudanese, the South Sudanese, the leadership, where do they come together? What's the point of agreement that leads to some kind of...
Coming together is absolutely essential. Yes, Tony, coming together is essential for both the North and the South. They have to, for their mutual self-benefit, come to agreements on how to share oil revenue, how to share other precious natural resources, water, grazing rights, how to reverse decades of state-sponsored ethnic cleansing campaigns by the North that are ongoing in Darfur, in the disputed border area of Abyei, where the border hasn't yet been demarcated and the ethnic Dinka population there has been cleared out by bombing from the north, and how to settle the ethnic tensions in the Nuba Mountains and get food and water and medicine to the civilians who have been bombed in 10 towns and villages by their own government in South Kordofan.
Well, Jonathan, thanks for helping us highlight the problem, and maybe we can all work on a solution to this situation. Jonathan Hudson, he's the Director of Communications at the Enough Project, an anti-genocide group in Washington, D.C. Jonathan, good to see you.